Anybody can jump into the Team Attack Facebook page and then share this link to the collective. Otherwise, I can.
I'm on it.
All right.
Where's Joe?
Family stuff, so I'm stepping in for the
Okay.
co-commentating.
I just thought we were upgrading our commentating team. That's all.
I don't know how to get Streamlabs here to show me the a chat window
For the Facebook chat.
Yeah.
How about this? I'll just monitor it. If you're looking at the Discord chat, Carlos, I'll monitor the Facebook chat, and then Ben's good at technical stuff too, so he can kind of help us with that too. So okay. So you're going
I was wondering because
to
I thought Caleb said there was a way for me to to see
Oh, I didn't want to start a watch
Streamlabs here. Oh, geez, Ben. There's 3 people watching already. What are you doing to us?
One of them's Vern Lee.
One of them's Vern. Hilarious.
Hang on, Vern is having some issues with signing into his Skype account.
It's all good. I ain't going nowhere. So pretty. You want to shake that every time.
You got it, Ben? Otherwise, I'm bringing it up right now.
I'm doing it from my phone because it messed up when I tried to do it from the PC. Link. Yeah, I got it. It'll be there in just a second.
All right.
Yeah. I realized what I was hitting was trying to start a watch party instead of sharing a link.
Okay, so now I got the Skype call with the chat beside it. So yeah, I'll look at that. I'll watch that.
Awesome. Hey, welcome everybody to Fight Night number 2, hosted by the Build Phase and us here at Team Attack. 12 people watching right now. Fight Night number 2, we have a classic alien versus human, predator versus prey matchup. Mr. Black, piloted by Peter Heddles, versus Royce, piloted by Vern Lee. We're waiting for Vern to show up here at the moment, but figured we'd go live since it's 7 o'clock, and we'll just talk a little bit ahead of time and get the pregame going on. So we've got Peter here with us, all set with Mr. Black.
Yes, sir.
Peter, what was your idea going into this? This is the second fight night, so one under everybody's belt. So how did you go into building Mr. Black for this event?
Well, I've been actually piloting a lot against Bird a lot, so it's been piloting against someone who plays kind of weird decks. The real big thing was I love this character. This is one of my favorite versus characters. So I looked at an upgrade. And I know the whole idea is you're supposed to be aiming at that one dude. You're supposed to take him down one, that's your opponent. I kind of went a little bit more open-ended, almost like what Adam did with the first fight night, where I was like, okay, this could still be viable elsewhere. Because Royce, his strategies can change. There's so many viable strategies for Royce. It's really hard to be like, well, he's going to do this, or he's going to do this, or he's going to, there's no general lines of he's probably going to be doing, he's only going to be doing aggro. That's it. With his yellow ability, he can play a ton of big wound characters. He could ramp. He could just do so many different things. So,
okay, Peter, I got a question.
How I would play it.
I got a question. So you went undefeated in Swiss at Midwinter Cup, a little while ago with Mr. Black. What are the biggest differences between this deck, and that deck? Would you say what were new cards that you definitely had to include, or that kind of thing?
That was the Midwinter before Deadpool hit. So we didn't have Solo, we didn't have Massacre. So now we're seeing Solo's in here now because he was like, okay, well, why would you not play someone who's going to make your dude that hits face down dudes bigger? And there's a lot more, I don't know, I think I went less on the kind of conservative side, but I went way more on the heavier aggro side for this. Let's just get in there and just turn sideways and go, turn sideways and go, turn sideways and go. Mm-hmm. If possible, so. I was thinking I could probably tech against Roy's ability, so I had JJ in here for a while, and I was like, with an ability that goes off on wounds, like he's still gonna have it. If he somehow turns my JJ down, which is super possible at a 4-3, I think I just didn't care, so JJ got omitted, and just there's less tech for certain characters, and just more open. Like if you cut this dude, you'll be fine. Like with Midwinter, it was very tuned for kind of the Mystique matchup. Like it wanted to get in as quick as possible, because that's what I kind of was worried about with Midwinter. So it was, that played a set of 4 net launchers and more blues and stuff. So
had some Thanos in that one too, I remember.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, like my top curve was a little bit heavier. It had Fu Man Thanos because you're probably going a little bit longer.
Yeah, I can see leaving out JJ though. There's not a lot of synergy there when it comes to level up, and at 3 it's still a point where you want to be putting together some range team attacks, some range stuns to get that level up.
Yep.
All right.
So when you built this deck, what are you afraid of from Royce, and how did you build around that, or what steps did you take to kind of get around what you think are the attacks?
The biggest thing I'm afraid from Royce is a turn 2 minigun, which is super possible. 1 power up from a Royce, you have a prey character in the bin, and now it's a 2, as opposed to a 4. So like I mean, you can only prep so much for equipment hate, so I was like, well, if I can just get bigger than him or get at him in the back row, that's the big thing. Is if him being a 4-3, he's gonna trade with me on the first couple attacks. So it's more thinking about your mulligan. Like, are you going first? Okay, well, you want this on your mulligan. Are you going second? Well, this would be a little bit better because you're gonna have to defend that first turn. Royce going face down in a trade is one of the worst things that could happen for me in the opening levels, and just him having no board.
Yeah. And Royce is a good board control main character with his ability to wound stuff.
Yes, and that's the whole thing. Like JJ, when the first build had JJ, and it was great because I was like, well, now you can't clear your board to your ability while leveling up and putting wounds on mine. But at that point, like he could just Royce into JJ at level 1, and I'd really be like, okay, well, that sucks. Predator, it's very hard to pack like defensive plot twists because you're looking at equipment now and you're like, oh well, I need that over a shock.
Yeah. Yeah. Excited. Ready to get this going.
I am actually really excited for this one.
Hey Carlos,
Yep.
I just posted Vern's board camera contact information into the commentator booth.
Gotcha. I will jump him into the call here.
Ooh, I'm ready to take a skull.
That's right. See, this is probably the Predator movie I've seen the least. This one with what was this one? Predators.
Yeah, Predators.
Yeah. See, this is probably the one I've seen the least. I love Predator 1, Predator 2, and then the newest one, the Predator or whatever.
The Predators.
That one's pretty good too. This one, I think I only watched it the one time when it first came out.
I actually don't. So I rewatched this once this kind of came out. I was like, I should rewatch this.
You got it. It's also prep for your match tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had it ready. I read a couple Predator comics. I'm ready to go. Like, let's do this.
Right.
But I mean, it's not terrible. It could be worse, I guess.
I think it's the weakest of the 4, but
for sure. It unfortunately, like 1 and 2 are just that standard. Like, it's pretty high up there. You got to deal with this. Like, Predator 1 is a cult classic. Predator 2, I mean, I don't think it was as good as Predator 1, but it was still really good.
Oh, it's so 90s action sci-fi movie though. It's a great part about it.
I mean, you got Gary Busey and it just being Gary Busey, so you're pretty solid.
All right. So Bert says your screen is frozen. I still see you moving just fine, but I'm on the Skype call, so let me look at this. Yeah, looks like you're frozen on the.
My screen frozen or his?
It's Carlos's stream.
Are you moving cards, Peter? Are you doing stuff?
Whatever. It adds to the fun of setting up that stream in the beginning.
Yeah, I'd like to see us do another one of these kind of battles. Ones like what would it be?
I'd like to see like Ripley versus the Queen. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. It'd have to be Lieutenant Ripley, right?
Yeah.
Versus Queen, or Warrant Officer versus Perfect Organism, which I don't think that's much of a match. Sister Ripley versus good old the Dragon. That would be an interesting one, I think. That's just two people up front smacking each other in the face. That'd be great.
That would be pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I like these themed. I think these theme matches are pretty great.
Yeah. Maybe a Prof versus Magneto, something around that way.
There you go. The two, yeah. So like the level 3 Magneto versus level 3 Professor X.
Yeah, the best is it's the Magneto that can make X-Men and Brotherhood better.
Yeah. So it's like the battle of two guys that never level up.
Oh, just call it the death of a dream.
Right.
Hey, Carlos, can we get Vern in on this call?
I sent him a. Well, I threw it in.
Okay.
I invited him. I haven't seen anything come. I'll try again here.
All right. Yeah, I've got him.
Oh, he's already
on,
added, so he should be able to jump in.
All right, cool.
Peter,
He said he was trying to set up something using two different devices, which I don't really understand what he was trying to do. So I told him just join in and we'll try to get this figured out. Unfortunately, I think we need to make sure everybody knows how to set up their setups before it's go time.
Right.
I had it basically set up.
What's up?
What's going on?
Ready for some cards. Okay.
Gonna make me flip all this around here.
There we go.
Can you hear us okay, Vern?
Peter, are you moving around? I just want to make sure that you're not frozen here on your video.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, Vern, can you hear us in the call?
Yeah, I don't see it. Peter, I'm going to try booting you from the call and letting you back in, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
No,
that's cool.
He's moving. I see him. Okay, never mind.
Oh, in the Skype? I'm in Skype. I don't see him moving at all.
He was moving in Skype.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Hey, man, we're only 15 minutes behind this time. We're making good time.
I think
I
I'm
gotta
good.
flip this around again. Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right, Vern says he can't hear on the Skype.
Figure it out.
Sounds like you can go.
He just said he can now. So you can hear us now, Vern?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yes.
Here we
All
go.
right.
So did you end up using two devices to set up, man?
No, not really.
Okay. No, you were asking me questions, and I'm like, I realized at a certain point I didn't know what you were trying to do.
It's a long story, man, but whatever.
We're here. We're here now. We're here now.
Right.
Excellent.
All right. Anybody in the chat? I want to make sure you see everybody moving. Because I've got Peter doesn't look like he's moving again to me.
How about now?
Yeah, he looks okay to me.
Yeah, he's moving, Carlos. He's good. He's not frozen.
All right. I don't know what's going on with my screens then.
Maybe it's you, Carlos. That's why.
Oh no,
It is me.
If you look at the stream on Facebook, he's frozen.
Oh, that's how it works. Facebook hates me.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
We don't want to have that.
Did you guys see in the stream chat, Caleb said not taking it seriously enough to set up beforehand. Typical Apex. Throwing fireballs today, he is.
That's
Someone pissed in
me.
his cereal this morning.
All right, well, while we try to figure out what's going on with Peter's camera, Vern, do you want to walk us through your deck just a little bit? What kind of things were you afraid of Mr. Black throwing at you?
To me, the biggest threat in the deck, or possibly in the deck, is a combination of counters and combo stick. That's the biggest threat for me. I don't expect any of these games to go very long, but I also don't know what's going to happen. So I'm wondering if Peter came up with something different, than what's normally being played.
You gave me a lot of credit, Vern.
Well, hey, let's see what happens, man.
Yeah.
I think that both decks pose different problems for each other. So I definitely think it could go either way. But we'll just have to see what we get.
All right, guys.
All right,
it looks like we've got our video up on Facebook now, so we're moving fine.
Their Facebook.
And we are ready to go. So end poll results Ben has. Remember, guys, the player that got the most votes or the favorite to win does not choose game one. So the person who is not favored to win gets to choose to play or draw game one.
And it looks like more support came in for Vern. So Peter and his Mr. Black deck is going to get a choose initiative here at game one.
All right, I would like to go first. And then just so we're on the same page, game 2, Vern would go first, and then game 3, I would go first again, or are we rolling off each game after this one?
We did loser's pick when Adam and I did it, but
that makes sense too.
Whatever you guys want to do.
I'm down with loser's pick if that works.
Yeah. Whatever you guys want to do. Me and Ben just kind of played through, so.
That is fine.
Okay.
All right, guys. In that case, you and Vern are going to be on your own, and we're going to jump out into the commentator booth. So we'll jump out of Skype here for you. You guys can talk, and if there's anything that goes on or we need to make any calls, Ben's going to jump back in to Skype and let you know what's going on, to pause the game or rewind or do whatever. All right?
All right.
Good luck. Have a good game, guys.
Thank you,
sir.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
What's going on, Vern? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Pete? Crazy couple of weeks, man.
Yes.
Chicago has been nuts for like.
Yeah, you guys doing all good down there, man?
We hanging in there, man.
All right, man.
Whatever.
I should give you time to get plenty of games, and you should be whooping my ass up here now.
And,
All right, guys. We should be
Oh, man.
nonsense. I'm
on.
the line.
Should I be thanking you for your service? Is that how this goes?
Well, I'm a bus operator, so
Oh, fuck yeah, then I'm going to be definitely thanking you for your service.
Adam, Ben, you guys, can you hear us?
Hey, Carlos, you
All
got
right,
a
so
mic
you want me to
mute
cut
on,
this,
man.
or
Yeah, if you just want to do a quick cut, that's
What am I?
the same?
Okay. All right, go.
Why am I not?
I'll be mulliganing this.
Okay.
Adam, I can't hear you in Discord anymore.
That's what I like to hear. I'm going to keep.
Oh man.
All right, so looks like Peter kept his opening hand. And Vern's going for a mulligan here.
Want me to cut this too? Want me to cut this too, Pete? Pete? Can't hear you, man.
I think Carlos might have muted Peter, trying to get our audio set up here.
Okay.
Only hear me and can't hear Ben. Why can't we hear Ben?
Yeah, you can try yourself. You're solid.
All right.
No. No. Red.
You played a red, and you flipped it.
Oh, a solo on the opener for Mr. Black is definitely solid.
Okay.
This is exactly what Mr. Black wants to see here, starting off. This is, I mean, getting solo on turn 1 and being able to start collecting experience with the range attacks is where Black wants to be. How's my volume now, C-Stack?
So we both strike. Next beat for me. That's it. You back?
Yeah. Carlos is not apparently able to figure out how to mute your guys' table chatter in the Discord, so we are having trouble getting the commentary going. That's what keeps happening. Hey Carlos, we need to get a volume bump on the Discord commentary, like the people in chat can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear Adam at all, and I've got you guys. Well, you're both you and Adam are muted in the Discord chat right now.
That's a great opener. So if this solo can keep sticking, we're gonna start to see this snowball out of control. So the XP gain has been pretty quick for both players thus far. So Royce attempted to go into and was unable to get there. Oh, no, okay. I was wondering why, like, okay, apparently he didn't stun. No, I guess Peter was just a little slow clearing off the board there.
Okay, guys. Can anybody hear me in the chat?
You should be able to hear you now. I can hear you. You're back in.
Sorry, I couldn't get them muted on Skype, and they were much louder in my ear than the Discord was, so I couldn't have both going, so I just had to get out of the Skype call completely. All right. So where are we at?
Yeah, I've completely lost track of the numbers at this point, man.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're
Trying to
just over here.
troubleshoot.
All right, Adam, are you watching the stream or are you watching the Skype?
I got out of the Skype call because I couldn't figure out how to mute it, so I'm just watching the stream.
All right.
Why is that music, Joe? Dude, what are you doing, man?
All right, so let's get back. I've got
That was crazy.
I've got the stream up. We're on turn 3. Looks like Vern's got Primeval Hunter. We've got a Charlie and is that a JJ out? And then Peter's got Elsa and Mr. Black. Mr. Black has hit level 2. Royce has also hit level 2. So real quick levels here.
Chat can hear you, Adam. Do you want to start guiding the?
Yeah. Could they not hear Carlos?
I can't hear Carlos at all.
I hear Carlos. That's odd. I don't even know what's going on.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway.
There you go. There you go, Ben. You were muted and whatever. So you should be able to hear me now.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so Charlie into Elsa. Black down. All right, so here we go. Peter starting turn 4. Sorry about the technical difficulties, everyone. Trophy area.
So a really solid start for both these guys. They both got their levels real early on. That's exactly what Mr. Black wants to do. Royce jumped up there. But as we know from Royce's list, or from Mr. Black's list, he only plays 2 plot twists. So that level 2 ability on Royce isn't going to be super useful in this matchup.
That's true. That I don't know if that was something that Peter was thinking about when he built the deck, or if it just kind of happened that way in general.
There's also Call in Peter's list, which kind of counts as a plot twist.
Oh, and there we go, active camo. So this is exactly what he wants to see. He's got the space up. He's got active camo. If he can hit this could be a double wound on Royce here for the turn. Primeval Hunter has got what he needs to get his +3, and obviously Mr. Black
Going for a lethal on JJ here, and then we have another crap happens comes out of nowhere, so that'll put her down to 2. Oh, and a power up followed. I guess he must not have called lethal on that, or else she would have been dead, right? So then we got a Primeval Hunter going into JJ.
Do you want me to ask them what they called with Elsa?
Might as well. If they don't mind. Oh, and then we're going to go with a face-down attack to roll up those wounds a little bit on Royce.
Fearless lethal on Elsa.
So, did Elsa attack JJ? Our apologies for coming in like mid-game there because we were having those technical difficulties, but try to get it figured out now.
Wow, that turned out real sideways. That could have been a really powerful turn for Peter, but now he's got Mr. Black goes down, 4 wounds on him, and he loses his active camo.
How? I guess I'm not following what's... Took lethal away. Ah, yeah. Thank you, Bert. How many wounds on Royce right now? I don't see any wound counters on him at all. They off table?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so Vern turn 4 with another red there. Those
Royce is
do a
at
whole
4
lot
wounds.
4, so we're 4-4. Nice. On turn 4. That's something else, right? Ah, there we go. Thank you, Marcellus. I wasn't thinking. And guys, I was just trying to catch up. Vern taking a little bit of time right here. I think. What's he play? Let me look at what his 4 drops are. He has a spider. Is he going to go risk watch for a Spider Gwen here, or We have another play. Let's see.
Oh, he's got a Leviathan coming down.
This must be turn 5.
So people might think that this was technical difficulties, but really we just wanted the stream to run like any other upper deck versus release.
I think you're a little bit ahead of me, Carlos.
I could be. Are you seeing chat that's in the Facebook that I'm not? Or are you looking through Discord as well?
There he goes. Now he goes wristwatch. No, I'm just watching the stream on Facebook and looking at the chats there.
Oh, sure. Okay.
There's a slight delay on the Facebook stream.
Always is. All right, so I got to try to catch up to see what's going on in this game. 4-4, so we got a 7-5 Royce, a 7-5 Mr. Black. Mr. Black's face down. Royce has to be careful right here, although there's nothing really threatening him at this point. So he could, I think right here he's just going to try to clear off that Elsa, clear off that Hawkins. Leave him with as little as he can. Going into his turn 5. So, see what happens. So, Dimensional Wristwatch. Probably going to be in Hawkins here.
So turn 5 here, this is where Peter's list starts the hit slow down. He's got Iceman from the Resistance. And then
he also says boomerangs and lots more 1-drops, so he could underdrop here. And boomerang's a card that you can underdrop and not really feel nervous about it at all because of the abilities that it has, right? Being able to turn off Royce's range right here would be pretty big to get the initial stun that you could then flip. What he really wants right here, I think, is a space. A space right here, and he might be able to end the game.
He got Iceman coming out. So Iceman, this Resistance Iceman's a pretty good shot as well. JJ's in the way, so that's obviously going to be an issue, but with the red there, he does get invade, so that's basically a free wound on Royce, and then Iceman gets to stick around, but he's got to be able to use it, which he doesn't seem to be able to.
He didn't have the red, and the dodge on Spider-Gwen is kind of problematic right now. So I just you clip JJ, you clip Spider-Gwen, pass the turn, I guess, right here.
Yep.
Nothing fancy. Not feel great about the turn, but a red there would have been pretty clutch. So then he's just going to clip the Spider-Gwen and get over it.
Red, I think, is going to be really important for this anyway, because being able to give Mr. Black that dodge and ferocious kind of stops Royce from taking pot shots in the back. Forces him to come up front.
So he goes to 5 wounds here on the crackback during Vern's turn. He's still got some things because he could draw a space and double wound him and just end the game, right? So Vern's got to be a little bit nervous anytime he gets to 4 wounds in this match because Peter's a space location away from just kind of ending it, especially with somebody as large as Iceman out who can basically probably stun just about anything that Vern is packing today. And that's, that Iceman's got enough attack to stun anything single-handedly and 2 wounds to do that also. Although we've seen at least 2 shit happens from Vern. So that's a terrible card for Iceman.
So we got a Spike Leviathan came down.
He's played 3.
3? Okay.
Oof.
Why did Iceman die?
Leviathan came down. Put the counters on.
Yeah, but he has 2 wounds. Or did I miss something?
No, they caught it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, bear with me, Carlos. I'm a couple seconds behind you.
Yeah, a few frames behind.
Yeah.
So I now have both the watch party I accidentally started and the main stream feed open in front of me, so I'll try to keep an eye on both live chats.
We got 2 live chats. I love it. Wow. Okay, so
2 chats going on Facebook. Oh, that's why I'm not seeing some things.
This is a tough one for Vern right here.
I think after this first game, I'm going to shut this watch party down because this is chaos.
Yeah, the whole thing's been chaos. It's been great. I love it. I'll shoot from the hip, guys, right?
This
is a tough call for Vern here because he doesn't want to get the crackback off of Mr. Black, and I don't think he really wants to suicide a Spike Leviathan in either, but I feel like you got to make some kind of move here. right?
Well, we're on turn 6. He's got what are his options here?
He got Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Thing would be pretty big, but I don't think he's got either one, right? He just played the Spike Leviathan.
Well, I see. So he's telegraphing his hand here for Peter.
Flipping a yellow. No, there's the. He didn't flip it a yellow. He's just restacking his guys. He's got a trophy room down. No, HQ. He needs to keep that hand back. Hey Ben, if you got a second, pop in there and tell Vern to be careful about flashing that hand. I don't know what Peter can see or not. But he looks like he's got an Iron Man in hand, but I don't know how much that's going to help him right now.
No. I mean, he's got every activator for Royce up, so flipping up another location isn't going to do him too much.
Now, a 5/7 flying blocker is not the worst, but you know that Peter's got a lot of stealth in the deck, so...
So there we go. He sacks. Let's see. Does Peter have anything in his hand?
I think he just needs to play the yellow and just kill the Iceman, right? And the Spike Leviathan. Possibly.
Wow. This could be it. This is the crackback. This is exactly what you were talking about. So Peter draws a space, and it's game over.
Yeah, but I think you got to play to your outs, and you got to make him draw it, right? If you sit back, it'd be basically the same thing anyway. I like to play with the yellow, just kind of clear the board. It doesn't really give Peter a lot of targets, and Peter's got to draw. I guess he does have a lot of locations, so he's got a lot of hot draws. But
oh, Peter Rose, bad for Peter.
Yeah, that's not the good.
Drops Mr. Black in the back, Rose a resource, and then he plays another Iceman. So he's hiding Mr. Black now. He didn't have anything.
Well, I mean, he's got to. Right here. No red, no anything.
Yikes, that was just close to a solid win turn there.
Yeah. So I think they're both just teetering on the edge, right? 5 wounds to 5 wounds. Who's going to pull it out?
I think we fear now Wolverine coming down, because now that we're at 7, Vern's packing Wolverine.
He'd have to have the HQ or he'd have to have the yellow, right, to wound him in order for it to get his full effect.
Yep.
But a yellow Wolverine right here, like you said, Carlos, could end the game and be.
Though this is pretty good. We've got. At anytime. That was it. Game.
Woo! Anytime?
Wow.
Oh.
So I think Ben, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, I think Peter scooped there.
Yeah, he had to scoop because Royce was going to win on the.
Royce was just going to run all in and attack there. He had matchup there. He had Royce do attack. He had Hawkins for a team attack. So.
No, he had it. It's just like it's one of those things where if you die on the and you wound them, and you go to the max wounds, but it's your active player, you win.
Yep, you get priority and you win. Correct.
Yep. You don't see it very often, but what a tight game, guys! Great game.
Peter's opting to go first again in game 2.
I guess I'm in your watch party, Ben. I should get out of that and go to the other one.
Yeah, my apologies about that whole watch party confusion, guys.
Well, we'll see. We've got 26 players watching, or 26 people watching here. So once your watch party is done, we'll see if that jumps up.
There was 18 in the watch party.
Wow.
See if we can get to 40, boys. That'd be great. Anyway,
yeah, that'd be fantastic. Welcome anybody that jumps in and decides to watch this.
I'm up. Okay, Carlos, let's talk about this past game. That was about as close as you get. Peter missing some locations down the stretch there was pretty bad for him. Gotta feel like that could have gone either way.
So Peter plays only 12 locations. 4 space and 4 training grounds are his basic. So could his deck have benefited from Kane?
Maybe, but yet again, it's an early drop that's not helping you level. So is that where you want to be necessarily? I think that in a deck like Mr. Black, you need to put in most of your bottom curve has to be helping you level or doing so. I guess getting the locations is important, but they don't matter. Like space doesn't matter until you level, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Everybody's popping in over from the thing. Can you hear me, Carlos?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, guess we're getting drawing hands for round 2 here. I don't know if we can have a closer game.
No, I don't think so. And these games are going to go. We're expecting them to go pretty quick here.
Yeah.
Turn 5 to 7 is probably where they're going to end. Pretty frequently, I would guess.
So so Carlos, what do you think Peter's looking for here? He's got to be looking for Hawkins solo. He's got to be looking for combi stick.
I think what he wants is he wants either solo or Hawkins, and he wants an active camo. Combi stick is just kind of a bonus, but I think when he's drawing his hand, he wants a 1-drop that's going to give him an XP, right, just off the board, and he's going to want that combi stick or that active camo. Combi stick is such a great card from the hand, like a clutch hand to play, because it's played as a plot twist and because it gives you Combat Master. And you want to avoid, oh my God, 2 It Happens in a row. Turn 1.
That was rough. That's just a good card.
Wow.
Prey might have one of the best suites of plot twists in the entire game.
I agree. I think Prey has the best with It Happens, Couldn't See Me, and Death Trap. I think it is hands down the most powerful plot twist package that we have.
Yeah. And Crap Happens, I think, is one of the most underrated ones of the bunch. I think you see a lot of people play He Couldn't See Me. There it is again. He's showing you how it is, taking away stealth, taking away ranged, doing things like that. I mean, that's a big play right there on turn 1. Prevents the XP, goes up on wounds. Huge. Also interesting that Peter did not have a character there, a support character there. So this doesn't give Royce a chance to get much XP if he draws a yellow or an HQ. No,
and that honestly, if I were to have built Mr. Black, that sort of would have been my whole feeling, because I just would have packed low with equipment and not really started playing characters till around 3, just to starve Royce of XP.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we played Charlie Pass, maybe, because Peter flipped back up.
Charlie Pass. Peter had to row. Which you never want to see, but with 12 resources, it's going to be you're not going to be able to get around it, right? Unavoidable and match.
I think in Versus, one of the toughest decisions you can make on any given turn is what card to row. Sometimes it's easy, it's a no-brainer, but there's those times when it's just an absolutely excruciating decision.
And a Death Trap. Wow, this game is going to go fast. If Vern kept a handful of plot twists, this game is just going to end.
So let's see if we get a stun here. See what you're doing. That's a nice safe attack against Charlie right there.
Yep.
Death Trap. Wow. Yet again, talking about this plot twist from the Prey.
Yeah, this game's going to go quick. If Vern has a mitt full of plot twists, there's not a whole lot Peter can do. I think that's probably the most dangerous thing for Mr. Black is the suite of plot twists that Prey has.
Yeah, he could have used that combi stick pretty hefty there. Peter's down by 2 wins. He needs 4 XP to level. He's got 1 XP, so he needs 3 more. I mean, that's rough right there. That Demolisher is tough because that space was one of his outs to make a comeback here.
Yep.
So it isn't looking great for Peter. No, I would agree. But characters that can accelerate wounds always have a chance to kind of make a comeback here. Now, Peter doesn't have any readying tech, like I've seen some Mr. Black decks run, some X Factors or Hellion or something.
And I think that's probably targeted. At least, we haven't really tested Mr. Black since he ran him at Midwinter. But we found that wasn't the best package for him. It sort of ate up some slots and took up some pieces for what felt like win more tech.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying there. Well, Peter had to row again, so we'll see how this.
But he brings an Elsa down, so that's great. We're gonna guess Fearless Lethal because Elsa just pretty much typically comes down with Fearless Lethal.
Well, he needs to clear that Charlie straight up before Royce can start using these yellows. So basically, on his turn right here, he needs to clean up the Charlie and the Demolisher. That'll put him at 3 XP. He's gonna be way down on wounds, but
no, Peter's only got the 1 XP. 2 now with Demolisher.
That's what I'm saying. He can get up to 3. See, I would have played Yeah, so there's 2 on Charlie, and then 3 on the Demolisher here.
Peter said 2. He didn't get one before.
Match. Oh yeah, because Mr. Black was face down when Match got.
Mr. Black was face down to match it, so he's
so
stuck at 2.
Yeah, they got it rough. So he's at 2. That's rough, but he can get another 2 next turn depending on what Royce draws here. But I hate that having double yellow up here because you got to have a feeling that Royce is going to clean off that Elsa pretty quick if he draws any kind of heat right here.
And he's done a good job with the low drop build, having Charlie in there, having Primeval in there, having his low drops with multiple health, so we can use those yellows safely and still keep those characters around.
I think that's how you build Royce, right? Those are the characters you want in there. Those are what you want to do. I mean, even running calls or something like that for the power up or drawing them down.
And there they are, Roy, Charlie 27 and Primeval.
Wow.
Both dropped on 3. What a phenomenal hand Vern had here.
There's not much
that's
that
really
Peter
brutal.
can really do against it. Let's be honest, guys. Because right here you go yellow and you wound the Elsa and you wound the Charlie, and then you Primeval into Elsa, killing her, and then maybe you even go ahead and crack into the black. And
no, he's so he didn't use the yellow. He got his level up from the double wound of Primeval into Mr. Black, and then Royce is just able to hit, and there we go. Yellow for Charlie and get rid of Elsa. So he just cleaned up the board.
Wow. Yeah, that's a better play. There's somebody that has more experience on the playing him than me, right? To figure out to know the right line there, because that's obviously the right thing to do when you can clear the board like that.
And we weren't able to see the experience on Royce either. So.
Yeah, well, that was a great play there. So Peter is definitely in trouble. He's not out of this yet. If he can level here, he can stay in the game. Now red's going to help.
Okay, red, and he's dropped a massacre, so we have somebody with lethal, so we can get rid of Charlie here.
So I think right here, oof. This is a tough one. I think you just stun the. Okay, so the way I'm looking at it is, I think you just stun the Charlie with black, and then you go massacre into. I know that the lethal. You seem like you're.
Well, he's so that leveled him. So that leveled black, and now he's using red for ferocious and dodge. So he's able to get Royce without a crackback.
Okay. There we go.
So this is where the experience of Peter playing Mr. Black in comes full forward, because he's able to see those lines. Right, he knows that he only needs 3 XP for Mr. Black. He's able to throw Massacre in, get rid of that Charlie, and then he has the red. So now for Royce's turn here, people have to come into Mr. Black, who has Ferocious, and he's got Dodge.
And we don't know if he's packing, if he's drawn a combi stick. Yeah, that would be really big here. So, 3-1 wounds, right? Anything can happen. Especially since we could start to see double wounding here. Although that yellow's staying up, it's like any 2 wounder that Peter drops, it's just anything really could be knocked off with that yellow.
This is it. Turn 4 is, I mean, that's about as late as you want to level with Mr. Black. He's definitely an aggro all-in early deck. So I don't think he did poorly. Like he's about as late as he wants to go. But he had to work for that.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, Caleb, that's the first wound on Royce.
Vern taking his time again. As you should.
Well, he seemed in such a powerful position the first 4 turns, the first 3 turns. Now he's got to evaluate his attacks and his moves a whole lot differently.
This game could have gotten better. Like I don't know if it could have. That was about as good as it gets. I think he wants some kind of multi-wounder here, just something to get up front, just kind of muddy the waters, really.
So he's got Primeval up, and then he had Dimensional Wristwatch. So we got Spider-Gwen out.
Spider-Gwen's a tough one in this matchup. Yet again, that dodge is a problem.
But you want to talk about underrated cards and powers. Dodge is one that just I don't think enough people use in the right situations.
Well, it's just one of those like added on abilities that you really don't run a card because it has dodge. You run a card because it's good without it, and then that's just kind of like the icing on the cake that makes it better. Like people forget that like Stick has dodge, and it's so relevant. There's so many times when when I played him at a tournament or something, you form up, your opponent forms up, starts making attacks, and then like they try to make one, you're like, no, he has dodge, and they're just like, oh. They forget about it, right? You know.
Geez, it happens. So we've got Primeval coming in. It happens to take away the ferocious on Mr. Black, and he gets the wound, puts him to 4. Wow.
Vern drawing those like it's his job.
That is three of those cards in 5 turns or 4 turns. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, hey, that's how you win games, man. Straight up.
He just has the magical hands.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 4-1.
Those denial plot twists have made a huge difference all night long.
Gigantic, right? I mean, it's the difference in the game. That I think people don't run that plot twist enough, and I think you're seeing like what it can really do right here. Nice attack into Massacre. Is he going to pay the yellow and just clear the board? Is he going to wait on it? Let's see.
No, he's past turn. So we've
okay. Interesting. I thought he might clear there, but I guess Spider-Gwen being dodge.
I don't think he wanted to risk getting somebody out of the front row.
Yeah, that's
right. Because if Mr. Black here, Mr. Black's played a trophy room. If Peter's able to play a card and then gets the space like he did, then Royce whisks a double wound. So I think keeping Spider-Gwen up front was probably the right call.
Yeah. Oh, Marcellus, you're saying it was a bad matchup, but that game 1, man, that was about as close as a game of verse can get, you know. Okay, see what he does here. Drops another location. It's like if Peter has stuck a combi stick at some point, you know, I'd like to see how this game would have changed, you know, preventing those plot twists from being played. You know, it gets a little bit different. Okay, Iceman. All right. Interesting formation.
Peter forgot Spider-Gwen has dodge.
Yep, you probably have to jump over there.
Nah, I've got their chat in my other ear. He's realizing his error right now.
I see. Oh, man. Misplays like that are how you...
Up his turn.
Oh, that's exactly what we just talked about earlier, is like he missed them.
Is that game ending right there? Is that sort of mistake one that just shuts it out?
Well, I mean, you know, in my experience, those are just the kind of mistakes that just are the difference in your entire day at a tournament. You know.
Yep.
Is you make a play like that and you're like, oh, and it could just totally, you could see a sea change in the way you're playing for the rest of the day. Or just that's the play that got you, that lost you that one match, that kept you from making cut, that da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, well, it's difficult because had he formatted differently, he could have put the double wound on Royce there. He could have had Iceman up front to get rid of Spider-Gwen, Massacre into Royce, and then Mr. Black into Royce. So it could have been such a different turn.
Yeah, I don't know if that was going to swing the game around, but definitely would have made it closer. Therefore, made the plays that Vern makes later on the game different, which can affect the outcome in the end. So,
I mean, he basically time walked himself with that mistake.
Essentially, Ben. Yeah, you're 100% right there. And Vern just keeps growing his board. Peter's having trouble keeping a board right now. And I guess that's really the strength of Royce, right? Is that ability to keep boards small. And when you build around 2-3 wound characters up and down your curve, you know, it's a lot easier for you to maintain that, especially when you're on the play, controlling the attacks. And then another yellow and just keep it. Yeah, that's just rough. I don't think Peter's got a draw here at this point. He'd have to like pull a reality gem and hide himself, maybe. Something like that.
All right, so here we go. Peter's got a trophy room. He's got a space down. He's got Boomerang and Primeval.
That's pretty good.
So, Adam, what Boomerang does he use here?
This is a tough call, man. This is a tough call. It depends on if you got anything in there. I mean, you could turn off powers, and that would be kind of interesting keywords to turn the tough off of JJ. But she's only got 2 wounds anyway, so you probably don't want to do that.
He dazes. So now I think he's going after. He's looking for to get that JJ off the board. Power up on Boomerang, and he's obviously hoping to get another wound on Royce sitting down there.
Counters is fine here.
Carlos, if you can bump the commentary audio, we got a comment in chat that it's a little on the low side still.
I am maxed out on levels here. So it looks like Peter didn't go for the extra wound on Royce. He saved Primeval up front, not attacking JJ, and just killed JJ with Mr. Black.
So Spider-Gwen's going to clear that Primeval.
And I've lost Adam here in the chat.
Primeval just killed Black. Yeah, his computer had to reboot.
Oh, so that was, yep.
We didn't have enough bugs already.
Right.
But that was it right there. So that was turn 6, I believe, with Primeval killing Mr. Black.
Primeval into Mr. Black. Leaving him up there was difficult. As Adam was saying before, that wound ability that Royce has is going to make it really difficult for Peter to keep any sort of defensive board around to shield himself when he gets on the back foot like that and has to hide. His board is really, since it's so small, it's really, really difficult for him to stave off a wound even for a turn.
While they're shuffling up here in between games, I wanted to take a second to talk about some fight nights that are going to happen in the future. Mark Iam and the Philippines crew is hosting a Road to Fight Night at their Card Hobbyist store, and we'll be doing a series of events, a final table which will be Fight Night, probably Fight Night 4. And as part of that, I have a few things I wanted to give a shout out here to Ian Taven, Mark Ryan, Forge Hobby Place in the Philippines, and Card Hobbyist Online. Those are all people that are helping contribute to this probably Fight Night 4, but we'll see what the number is once we get there, and that will be in July.
Which is going to be extremely exciting. If anybody in the collective pays attention, those guys in the Philippines are all in. The marketing and just the commitment they have to this game and the events they put on is above and beyond. And I suggest that you follow what they do, their prize structure, the way they promote their tournaments, to have those guys wanna come on, and for us to be able to host them in their finals in a fight like this is going to be really fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. In the lead up to it, Mark actually compared Fight Night to Manny Pacquiao fighting. He said, people stop in the streets. I don't think we're quite at that level, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
So here's the question: Does Mr. Black get shut out?
I mean, it could happen. If Vern has another fire hand where he draws all 4 copies of Soup Happens or a mixture of Soup Happens and Death Trap, Mr. Black not being able to get attacks through and cards like Death Trap blowing him up, I mean, what does he do in that situation? It's just a full foil to what the Black kit is trying to accomplish.
I think we've seen that in this matchup, leveling on 4 is just too late. Mr. Black's going to want to level on 2 or 3. Oh, there we go. What a perfect hand. That's the opening Peter wanted. Right there. Mr. Black, combi stick Hawkins. I think only solo probably could have made that better. Having a solo probably would be the only thing that bumps that up.
I like the way Peter picked up his hand as if Vern was going to have an option to do something here. Ooh, it looks like Marcellus and Caleb are getting a little heated in the chat. Seems like there may be another fight brewing right there.
There we go. Combi stick finally. About time.
I mean, this is not a bad opener for Vern either.
No.
Royce getting his green and his Charlie to clear that combi stick right off is a very strong opening.
You need when you're fighting Mr. Black, you need to mitigate the equipment on him, because if he's allowed to sit there with a combi stick or an active camo for any amount of time, especially once he levels, he's going to get out of hand very quickly if he levels before you do.
That's not what he wanted to see. Although Primeval is still strong. It's unfortunate that he didn't have any locations.
Turn around. Here we go. So he's going to pitch a card from Vern's hand. So let's see. Cosmo. I see some locations. I see a match. Elsa. Spike Leviathan. Death Trap. And 2 locations. Ben, what does he take?
Death Trap.
Death Trap, yeah.
I mean, maybe the Spike Leviathan, but if he wants to just use that trophy area to lethal Charlie off the board with the Primeval, that Spike Leviathan is way less. Wait, no, that's not the one that kills a location anyway.
No, that's Demolisher. Spiked is on 6, and it removes your discard pile.
Yep, got my Leviathans mixed up there. Death Trap was the obvious choice, and Peter definitely made the right call there.
Oh, yeah. It's so... That was an easy one. You can't blame him for that. And then we use...
All right, so Peter made Mr. Black ferocious and dodge until the end of his next turn. Or until the start of his next turn.
Yep.
Right? That's Mr. Black's power.
Yep, start of his next turn. And it's something that doesn't seem as powerfully relevant, but it can make a difference, is even if you're using it defensively like that at the end of your turn to make sure that you can't be come at with range. Can definitely be a really powerful move.
Well, and I mean, you could say, oh, he's just going to have soup happens, but then you force it out of the hand.
Yep.
And that feels better than him having to play in that when you're trying to declare an attack.
Yeah, for sure. When he's on defense, you don't want to see that card. Better to get him to use it when he's trying to come at you. Well, I guess Cosmo is really going to do the same thing there, though.
Yep. Brutal.
So do we have a wound count on Royce here? Is it 2-2 or is Royce at 1?
Give me a second, I'll check. Can I get a wound check on Royce, guys? He's at 2 wounds.
So we're at 2-2. And Royce levels. Man, Royce is just kicking out the level early here.
Yeah.
Though we should see Mr. Black level here as well. It's just ideally he would have wanted to do that before Royce. You know, and in an aggressive deck, you always want to turn gold before your opponent.
Apparently, I did not hit my mute button hard enough. I mean, this has been a pretty good game for Mr. Black, but even with good choice, making good play lines.
There we go. That's right, Peter.
Still kind of hurting.
It was interesting. Peter thought about taking Mr. Black into Charlie, but rethunk obviously for the lethal there from Elsa and Death Trap. Wow. But as you'd say, you'd rather bait that out on Elsa than you would have it come at Mr. Black.
Yeah. It just seems like there hasn't been a situation where Peter has asked a question that Vern has not had an answer to.
Yeah. Yes.
Whoa.
Is this Adam back here?
Yeah, that crackling is real bad, too.
Adam, you got a lot of static coming through, buddy.
Yeah, mute Adam until he gets that figured out. Holy moly. He bailed. So, hey, we appreciate everybody coming out for these fight nights, and they have been a little rickety over these first couple, but it's a work in progress, and we're willing to learn from what we do in this one. And if the community has matchups, either main characters or deck pilots that they'd like to see featured on a fight night, as well as technical or logistical ideas to make this run smoother, that would be great. Like, we're absolutely open to that.
I would love it. So again, we're building a solid board here. JJ and Charlie 27. So luckily for Peter here that Royce did not have that yellow. So JJ or Elsa gets to stick on the board and gets her choice of taking out JJ or Charlie.
All right, boys.
Welcome back, Adam. Massacre comes down.
Man.
So we've got a lot of lethal on the board.
Anyway. So where are we at? Turn 3?
I believe this is Peter's top of turn.
It's turn 4, top of turn 4.
Yeah, top
How many moves does Royce have right now?
Royce has 2.
2.
He'd be about to get 3. I'm guessing Peter's going to go for Ferocious. Yep, Ferocious and dodge on Mr. Black and into Royce. Does he have an answer?
Does he have another crap happens? That's the question, right?
He does not. First time.
It looks like there's some people in chat suggesting that stacks should take place in a fight night here, going up against Marcellus.
Newborn. We're bringing Newborn.
It sounds like we may have a fight night number 3 coming together, gentlemen.
All right, that's a good board clear by Peter. Let's see what answers with a call too, going a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's see what Vern comes back with here after getting that board clear pretty hard. He's gonna need he probably wants a yellow. Oh my guess. Try to even up with these multi-wound guys that he has down there. So red.
Red. One thing I haven't seen from either of these decks is freeze. Spider-Man, we're going to the defensive.
That's turn 4. I mean, it's the only 4-drop he's running in the deck, I believe. So, you know, risk watch, thin it to win it, as we used to say in Magic. So, seems like the play.
Just pull one out. That dodge is really good. It's going to force him to pull up Massacre or do something to get rid of her.
You speak about dodge, and there's that. What was the 4-drop in the new set in Fantastic Battles? Thundra? Is that a name of her?
Thundra. Yeah.
Yes.
Thundra. Oh, he's actually running a couple Thundras. She's got the bulletproof.
He has 2 copies in that deck.
Yeah, which is insane. We saw in the 5 Life format how good that ability is when it was printed on a main character, and I think it's going to be really relevant. So if you expect to see a lot of Johnny. Human Torch, or in this kind of a matchup where, you know...
Wow, another it happens.
Curve, a bulletproof character like that can make a lot of sense. So, playing Spider-Gwen, taking this time to shuffle. Always take your time to shuffle to think about what you're doing. Slow down, take a... Prevent you from making those formation errors like he did in the last game.
Getting rid of Elsa is such a powerful play. She's such a sticky, troublesome character.
3-2 wound was? Or are we at 3-3?
I believe we're at 3-2.
You guys still there?
I think it's 3-3.
Is it 3-3?
Going into Mr. Black, huh?
And another combi stick. There we go.
All 3 games where Vern actually hit, he couldn't see me.
Huh. There you go. Yeah, he used it for the stealth. There we go. That card's underrated. The stealth mode of that card is incredibly underrated.
All right, so Peter, remembering that Spider-Gwen has dodge this turn, is putting everybody up front.
Another row for him. Base right here would have been pretty big. Iceman. See if he remembers the combi stick. He's been needing one of those. Yeah, I think that's the first one we've seen in the 3 games, and that card is such a big reason why.
Yeah, well, you missed. He had his combi stick turn 1 this game.
All of
Mr. Black came in as a 10-8.
Wow. Too bad he didn't have the a hidden space to try to get a double wound down with Massacre there.
4 wounds.
So 4-3.
Oh, there, Vern adjusted so you can see him.
There we go. This game looking a little different. How was the early game, Ben? Like, what were some of the plays he had? Looks like Peter leveled first, maybe.
No, Peter leveled second. He had a really good, powerful turn. Combi stick on 1 with Hawkins.
His turn 1 was Hawkins and a combo stick. And really came out ferociously. And then Vern played a green and a Charlie and really was able to answer exactly.
I think this is like the game 1 was really indicative of that. It is pretty. These guys just pounding at each other with range. Peter's getting pretty big right here. So Vern's got to think to himself he needs to find a way to get those counters off right now because a 9-7.
It's going to be something difficult for him to deal with.
Would be what 10-8 is 10-8 combat match where they can attack face down characters is nothing to sneeze at.
All right, Adam, are you able to hear me in this chat here? No?
I don't know if he's not running any days. No, he's running a Leviathan Beast would be an answer here. Answer here.
All right, let me see. All right, there we go.
His own Iceman, possibly.
Oh, I missed a big board here built by Vern. Wow.
Yeah, he's just dropping them. Just pounding those low drops, dumping his hand here.
Wow, that really swung the counters there on Mr. Black.
Yeah, he needed it. I mean,
Ben, if you want to tell Vern to careful with his hand again there.
Yeah, but it's just like I think Vern felt his back against the ropes, and that match was a huge draw there. That's definitely something like Match's ability to remove counters is definitely great ability.
There's that shit happens again.
All day, man. Drawing that like it's a job.
Very decisive card in this matchup.
Huge.
That has to be the MVP. That or Death Trap. Like for cards that just decided these games.
If I was gonna play Rogue at Gen Con, that was one of the cards I'd have in it because I felt like it was just so good in the mirror.
And we've got an active camo.
Ooh, that's a big one.
So 9-7 Mr. Black here.
Peter's ability to just keep getting big.
All right, so here's the big question: Does he have a space in the mitt? Is he holding it on?
You would have played it, man. You play it out here. I think. I don't think you try to hold that, especially with that because he has so little cards in hand. If he had a mid of 5 or 6, maybe, but
that puts what does that put Royce at there? Is that 4 or 5?
5.
That's 5 wounds on Royce.
5 on Royce.
4 on Mr. Black. This game's coming down to it again.
This is going to be a close one. See,
Somebody in
I
the
think
chat
there,
referred to
if I was going to put a fifth wound on Royce, I'd have kept the space in hand just to try to trick my opponent to bait out something early, and then pitch it from hand so they didn't quite expect it.
I mean, I could see that, but when you get down to a low, as somebody who loves to slow roll locations to play later, when your hand gets really down into down there to 1, 2, 3 cards, it's really tough to make that decision because you need to guarantee some action in further turns. So it's a really tough call. And like I'm not blaming him because like man, that could win you. That play right there could win you the game. But
so we've got another Leviathan coming down, and we've got Primeval up. Is that Leviathan? Is that Beast?
6 drop, and it's Beast here.
Yes, that was Beast.
So he's dazing? What is he? Does he daze Massacre, or does he go after Mr. Black and give Peter an extra turn?
I think you get the man. That's a tough call because I think that you want to get that active camo off.
He opted not to daze.
He chose not to.
Really? Wow. I think he's just going to smash in then, right?
Wow, just wants to clear everybody. Well, you can't say it's wrong.
No, it's a good play. Smash in with the Beast against Black there, and go. You got a nice.
So let's see. An active camo might give it to him.
Peter skipped his resource step on this turn.
I don't think he needs it. What are we at, turn 6?
It should be 7.
Top of turn 7.
Yeah. Peter should have went first. Yeah, you guys are ahead of me.
He doesn't have a lot of high drops like that, so I think he's fine.
Peter only runs 1 7 drop, so he can play the location when he draws.
Yep.
So he's better off holding stuff in hand to give him more options, I think.
What he needs is his anytime right now for the stun on Royce.
Anytime to get past the Beast and then strike or just strike Royce, that'd be big. A reality? No, he doesn't have any locations for reality. Gem.
No, I mean Royce still has the red, so he'd be able to cancel it, but I don't know if you hold on to that card in your hand.
Man, I kind of like just crack the Beast. Man, he's at 5 wounds. This is a tough call. What do you do here?
Wow, he passed. He passed.
Passed the turn. Wow.
And this I think is it. This is the
really right here with Peter. Now you think about lines earlier in the game. It's like, man, would have been nice to have that call earlier. Oof, that's
wow. Rough. Primeval Elsa down with the Beast. I think this is probably where we see the end of it.
Peter doesn't have any real action to play back, so.
Who was the last attack on that one, fellas?
Well, we're watching it play out right now on the stream. So Primeval into he had it. He had the anytime in his hand. He had the anytime.
Wow.
So I don't know. I think on that previous turn it wouldn't have done anything, but I don't know. I think maybe you just play the anytime even though Royce has the red up. You're at last turn or so of the game.
It's so I think slow roll in one of those calls earlier when he just kind of pumped to get bigger might have been a difference in the game there because he has the call when match is out. What he can do is swing, stun Beast, then match goes into Royce, putting Royce as like a 3-1.
Yep.
And it just puts you in a little bit of a better position. Maybe
so let's move out of this. And we'll move back into the chat with these guys into the Skype chat, and we can talk about it.
Card in that matchup.
Yeah, no. Oh my god. I'm gonna call hacks on Vern for like drawing those 3 games.
I like how many I drew.
He was telling me he had an opening hand of 3 of them at one point.
Yeah, game 2, I think it was. We saw 2 on turn 1 drop down,
Yeah.
and then the third one pretty shortly after that. That seemed to be the magic hand there.
Yeah. Well, in last game, like, he had the red showing, but I had the anytime, and I was like, well, he's just going to cancel that, so it's a dead card in my hand.
Yeah, I would have canceled because I would have lost.
You should have just let me win that one. You could have still won. Overall, still counts.
You didn't play it. I would have let you.
You would have let me play it, and then you would have been like, no, that's cool. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So-
I don't have to make my winning speech.
How do you think? What would you have done differently, Peter? So after you've played the games now, right? What do you think you might have built differently, or how would you tweak the deck against Royce, seeing how it ran?
I mean, the yellows would have been great, or the JJ would have been great. But my 3 spot is kind of like Elsa is so good on 3 that it's really hard to be like, well, I'll just put in JJ because Elsa was my JJ killer. Maybe not match something else. Maybe something a little bit like maybe Poncho back just to have that upfront defense. We were like going through some of this stuff, just like looking at some of these characters that would help me out. It's like Royce can easily either deal with these or they're just not hard hitting enough or they're completely off color. Like it doesn't help me at all. I never got to play my reality gem. I was kind of sad. I wanted to turn some stuff. I wanted to put 3 wounds on Royce in theory.
Did either of you regret not having anyone with freeze? Because when I was sort of thinking about these decks, I thought for sure that one of them would play a lot of freeze, either in a Bobbable Snowman, an Iceman, in Net Launcher, and something to lock down attacks from the other side.
Well, I mean, I don't miss Iceman, but in the original build it played Paladin, and I think that would have been a little bit better because that would have given me a stun and like a Net Launcher-ish kind of situation. So.
I thought about it. I thought about playing both Iceman and Abominable Snowman, but ultimately I just wanted to be able to hit Mr. Black when I could, and I didn't like Iceman having 1 health, so that's pretty much why I made the decisions I made. I mean, ultimately, I just came into this game just hoping and praying that Pete didn't pull both solo and a combo stick on turn 1. Because if he does that, it's pretty much over with.
That would have been a brutal opener.
Yeah, but he didn't pull it at any time. I knew he had it in the deck, but he just didn't pull it.
Yeah.
Every time Pete like would play the red, I just happened to have the crap happens in my hand. So I was just fortunate this entire time.
It seemed like that. Ben and I were saying on the commentary that every Ben said every question Peter asked, you seem to have the answer to.
I mean, we both pretty much knew what each other's decks were going to look like to some degree. I knew he was going to pack lethal, and I knew he was going to have the combo stick. So my whole thing was, if I can get off to a good start at the beginning of the game by catching him with some plot twists, to stun him, because you know that low defense is really the only thing that is keeping me in the game. So I was just fortunate he didn't pull what he needed, and I did. I think the games could have went either way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I knew Vern was going to be packing probably as many multi-wound like characters as possible, because even if I played JJ, like he would have eventually gotten around it and then just started putting those wounds where he could. So it's one of those, I wanted to just try to get either as big as possible or just try to get as many range attacks in to really like, because a lot of the big multi-health characters are front fighters, so you can kind of dodge some of those big hits back.
How close do the games feel on your end for you guys? Because on our end, game 1 and game 3 seem just incredibly close-knit.
Yeah, nail biters.
Those are what I expected them to be. Like, game 1 and 3 is where I expected it to be. Anybody's game.
They were nail biters. Like, so game 1, the only reason I won is because he didn't pull a space. That's it. That's the only reason I won game 1. And game 3, he just started running out of gas at the end.
Yeah.
I had more cards. That's what it comes down to. He went first. I had more cards, and I pulled a lot of plot twists that was able to stop him. That's pretty much what it came down to.
So what it sounds like to me is you found a solution.
Well, speaking of that, we had a little bit of talk going back and forth in the chat here between Stacks and Marcellus.
Oh, okay. What's going on with those two? Are they fighting it off? I'm done, so I don't care about my battle anymore. Let's see who we got up next.
It sounds like Fight Night 3 is coming up soon, gentlemen.
Stacks been going off all day, man. What's going on?
It looks like he wants to get in on the fights. He wants to bring his favorite main character to do battle with.
Uh-oh. Newborn, huh?
So, might makes right.
I love how everybody knows it.
Gargoyle?
Yeah, his favorite main character is Gargoyle.
With might makes right only.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what else playing.
Oh. All right.
I'm a Gargoyle might makes right fan.
I mean, that's a good combo. That's a good.
Okay, I got a question, Vern. We talked to Peter about this. The time you played this in a tournament was during Singularity, right?
Uh-huh.
It was a Singularity event. So
Right.
Had you tested Royce much with, being able to run whatever as many of a card as you wanted to, or before, or is this the first time you kind of got a full pull ability to build with Royce?
Well, this is the first time I've had the chance to. Well, I've played. Okay, let me give you the history of Royce. So when they first brought Predators out, right, I always loved Royce. I just thought his abilities were just excellent. It just figuring out a way to level him up at a decent clip. But when he first came out, there was literally no way to do that. So when Charlie came out, when Charlie 27 came out, because we tested Royce, like I tested Royce hard, Marcellus tested Royce hard, Dawson tested Royce even more than I did. So we just couldn't find a combination that was consistent. But what happened was when Charlie 27 came out, they gave us an extra multi-health character at the beginning of the game to just basically give us extra wounds. And as you saw, I was able to level Royce up on turn 2 on one of the games. So
yeah.
Get Royce leveled up quickly, then you can get a good grasp on the game. And the difference between what I did today and what I did with Singularity is that Singularity was just a lot more random, but I just put a lot of characters in there that did what Royce needs. And I just, a lot of blocking characters with flight. This game, I didn't really have as many multi-health characters, and I didn't have as much flight because I knew he was going to have lethal. So I just tried to concentrate on plot twists and just trying to kill him before he killed me.
Mm-hmm. I love seeing these main characters from these Alien and Predator sets get run. I don't think they get enough look. We were talking about how the Prey team might have the best suite of plot twists on any team.
Oh, for sure.
And I think you showed in this match the full breadth of what they can do. Getting a little stealth with "He Couldn't See Me," playing a death trap from the hand, and then of course Soup Happens was probably the MVP of the match. I'd say. Would you agree with that, Vernon? What do you think was the key card?
Oh, it definitely was because I pulled so many of them. It was like in certain cases it was nothing he can do. I mean, it's just being able to attack a ranged character and remove their range is huge because both Royce and Mr. Black have range and they both get stunned on attack. So anytime I was able to save a wound, it was a help for me because Mr. Black is a better wound dealer than Royce is. So yeah, I like Harrigan better though.
Yeah, Harrigan's a one-sided fight against Mr. Black. Harrigan's going to win that all day.
All right, Pete. So what do you think about Mr. Black for Cosmic format coming up here? Because I think we still got an event. If Oklahoma goes off, we'll have a good versus evil event. But Cosmic format's coming up next. You think that he's a guy that we could see make some noise in that? I mean, we got a lot of characters that are trying to hide in that format with Adam Warlock and Invisible Woman.
Yeah, I think he can hang. I don't know if he. I would love to say he's a top 8 contender. I would, because this is my boy. This is my new. He like. It comes down to putting the time into it. You got to kind of know the meta, because you got to know the outs. You're going to have to probably give up some characters for more equipment, because you're probably going to want to pack net launchers. But being a predator to open with, that means you have a lot of accessibility to things to slow people down, or just put a ton of damage on the board. Looking at Mr. Like Fantastic and Dr. Doom, those are some of the newer MCs that are seem to be kind of rising to the top. I know there's probably people that are going to tell me that those aren't it, or it's this one, but I think more against those. I don't know if he can hang. I don't know if he can hang against those. I would love to tell you that. Yeah, this is the boy to look at.
Yeah.
But
okay, Vern. I got one last question and then I'm done with everybody. So, Royce isn't going to be legal for Cosmic, obviously, but he could be legal for Good versus Evil. Do you think he could be a contender in that format where you could put an all good build together with him? Because I mean, if you think a lot of the cards I saw you playing, and if you take out like the Leviathans and stuff, some things like that, it doesn't really remove much of the deck you're running today.
Okay, so full disclosure, prey characters are pretty good in Good vs. Evil. I don't like Royce as much because Primeval Hunter is just so good with Royce. I don't really know. Billy is kind of power creeped out now.
Yeah.
So, I would have to do something drastic to make him work as well without Primeval Hunter. Primeval Hunter is a big deal in Royce. Harrion is a lot better. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
Good versus Evil.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how good he would be, man. It would be tough. He would be okay. He wouldn't be horrible, but
okay,
wouldn't be the same.
Well, that's all I got, boys. What Ben, Carlos, you got anything?
No, great games, guys. That was awesome. Thanks for coming on and doing Fight Night number 2. Vern, you are obviously the favored going into this, and I think you pulled it out. Some close games, some excellent close games. That was just fantastic.
Yeah. I will say, Vern I'm glad he was favored to go in, because he deserved it, man. He pulled him out.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. I'll be willing to do battle anytime. Just let me know.
There we go.
Willing to lose on stream anytime too. So.
Me too, Pete. Ready to go.
Well, hey, in addition to our players, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who spectated and kind of stuck with us through some of these early technical difficulties that we had this evening. This idea is still kind of in its infancy, and as such, we're still working the kinks out here and there, but the reception's been pretty good, and I really appreciate that people are hungry for this content and that they're willing to take their time to come watch what we're doing here. So thank you to the spectators as well as our players.
Can I give one quick shout out real quick?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I'm gonna shout out Bert. I know he doesn't need a shout out, but he sat with me through these games, helping me work on this, and he had to deal with me making some real you saw me try to attack Spider-Gwen from range. I did that probably every game against Bert testing for the first 5 to 6 games, because I'm like, oh yeah, ferocious don't hit on range.
Oh, dude,
she has dodge. Shit. So Bert, thank you again for sitting with me and just watching me stumble through, basically relearning how to play this game again.
All right.
Shout out to C-Stacks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's just shouting at you now. He's not even giving you props, just shouting at you.
Love it. All right.
Hey, for real though, I love C-Stacks, man. He does a lot for this game.
You heard it. All right, boys.
All right, guys. Thanks, guys, for playing, and thanks everybody for watching. We got up to almost 30 people in the Facebook stream, and then if you count the watch party the bench started, we were almost at up near 40 people watching this. So that's just fantastic, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. Let us know if there's anything you want to see, any improvements you want to see. As Ben said before, we're definitely open for feedback and critiques. We want to make this better.
Thank you guys for doing this.
No problem. Have a good one, guys.
Take it easy.
Have a good night.
Go win some games.
Yeah.
Happy deck building. Yeah, so last.